And hello, everybody, and welcome. Good evening welcome to College Football Wraparound. I'm Cooper Naylor. So glad that you could be here with us. And of course, it's been about a month since I did something, and I apologize for the long break. But I'm back now and ready to give you some more content. So today we've got three topics to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Heisman Trophy has been returned to Reggie Bush. We got helmet communication coming to college football. And then Michigan is on a 3-year probation. I'll explain more about what that means for Michigan football in just a minute. But let's go ahead. We're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy being returned to Reggie Bush. Now, if you remember, he had it taken away because of getting paid. Now, here's something that I really want to say about that, and that is that players have been getting paid within college athletics forever. Now that we have the NIL, I think, now we've said, okay, it's okay for players to get paid. But here's the thing. Players like Reggie Bush, they've been getting paid forever. That's just the reality of what has been going on within college football and college basketball and whatever other sport you want to talk about. So I think it's a crazy thing to do if you're going to punish a guy like Reggie Bush for as long as you did. When you, like I said, players been paid forever. So that's firstly. Secondly, you want to look at the stats. I think there shouldn't be any question he should have never have his trophy taken away from him. His 2004 season at USC, he carried the ball 143 times for 908 yards. That's an average of 6.3 yards per game. Think about this too, because defenses back in that time were a whole lot harder. So 6 yards per carry, that's incredible. He had 6 touchdowns, and his long was 81 yards. That's his 2004 season. You go to 2005, 200 carries, 1,740 yards on an 8.7 yard average per carry for 16 touchdowns. And his longest run of the year was 76 yards. Now, you look at the stats. That is incredible stuff to talk about when we talk about college football. But it gets even better. In the passing game, he was very vital within the passing game. 2004, he had 43 receptions for 509 yards. That's an 11-yard average for 7 touchdowns. 2005, 37 carries, 478 yards on a 12.9 yard average, 2 touchdowns. But then it gets even better. On returning the ball, on punts, he had 37 attempts, 376 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 2004. 2005, 29 attempts, 179 yards on a touchdown. Then you look at kickoffs. In 2004, 21 attempts, 537 yards. And then in 2005, 28 attempts for 493 yards. And of course, he had in his career, he went 1 for 3 passing for 52 yards and a touchdown passing the football at USC. This all happened in the span of 2 years, 2004, 2005. USC had a juggernaut at that time. And, of course, Pete Carroll was the head coach. And you look at the line of quarterbacks that came out of USC while Pete Carroll was there. They had a good team. Like a really, really good team there at USC. So, do I think Reggie Bush should have got it back? Yes. You look at the stats alone, he was an incredible player. He should have never had it taken away from him. But here's the thing. He had it taken away, like I said, because of the money issue. And like I said, you can't strip someone's trophy away if everyone's doing it. Then it's like you're just picking and choosing. But the thing is, the NCAA has been, I think, for the last few years, has definitely come to light about some of the things they do is not great. And NIL, as I've said before, should be regulated more. But players have always been getting paid. So you waited till just a few years ago to finally say, oh, it's okay now. You can get paid. But then it opened up this wide gap of, oh, they're getting paid. Now they dictate everything. So that's the thing. They're making it a lot like the NFL now. And that's not great. But players have been getting paid. Of course, different times. But Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back, I think it's something to celebrate if you are a college football fan, because you're looking at one of the best players to ever play finally getting his trophy back. So that's all I got to say about Reggie Bush. And then we look at helmet communication within college football. It is coming. Now, how does it work? Well, the quarterback will have a microphone, or he'll have something in his helmet where he can communicate with his coach. Now, that means that the era of hand signals and the boards being brought out, that day is gone. So I will say that it is going to be a little bit of a sad day for college football when you first see that. But at the same time, I think this is something that was inevitably going to happen. And here's the reason why I say that. Because I think for the past few years, with the way the landscape has been changing, there's been a lot of people fussing about, sign stealing, all this kind of stuff. Well, now with communication like this, I think there's a less likely chance. But here's the deal. What happens if there's a situation where one team gets on the wrong channel, and they could easily figure out what the other team's doing, whether it be like if you're a defensive coordinator, you tap into that offense of the other team, you got them every time. So that there's risk reward going on with helmet communication within college football. I think that it will be a little bit of a slippery slope to begin with, just to see how it works out. And again, we are making college football a lot like the NFL at this time. Do I think that helmet communication is a terrible thing? No. I think this is great for college football. Like I said before, you have a less likely chance of having your signs and play calls being stolen. So that, in that sense, yes, I think it's a great thing that we're going to helmet communication. But we're just going to have to wait and let this play out and see what happens. Because you never know. And I mean, you can try as much as you can, but I don't know. There's always going to be some way signs can get stolen. That's all I'm going to say. But helmet communication coming to college football, I think it's a upgrade over just the hand signals. So, going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And then finally, Michigan is on a 3-year probation. Now, if you've been following Michigan football, you know that Jim Harbaugh, since the COVID season, there's just been a lot of stuff going on with internally and a lot of investigations. And of course, as you know, their championship run, I think people forget about this, but he was suspended twice during the season. He had I think Michigan, the university, suspended him for the first 3 games for stuff. I'm not fully aware of what happened, but he was suspended. And then he suspended the last 3 games where Sharon Moore had to step in as the head coach. So Michigan half their season, like regular season at least, they didn't have Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines. Didn't matter. Now he was up and gone. And there's a lot of, I think there is some legitimacy to the idea that he thought, well, for one, I know this is fixing to happen. We're fixing to go on probation. So let me go and find another job. And really, winning the championship, of course, I bet that made things feel better. Like, oh, I won a championship. Now it's time for the next part of my career. Let's go to the NFL, try to win a Super Bowl. But I think there was also that idea of, oh, yeah, we're going to get on probation. I need to leave. So Harbaugh, I think he knew what was fixing to happen. If you're a Michigan person, you knew what was about to happen. So I think that the 3-year probation, I think the way it's done, the way probations are done, I don't completely understand. Because if you remember a couple years ago, I believe when all that stuff came out about Ole Miss, like they had a postseason ban. Not Michigan. Michigan will be able to play for a championship next season, if they are even that good. So, of course, do I think that this is going to be odd? Yeah, I don't know how, because they're saying they're going to monitor the way Michigan football's ran. But at the same time, it's like, you're going to monitor them, but then you're still going to reward them with a postseason. And again, another thing to keep in mind, which this makes sense too, why you're not going to do a postseason ban is this team, this upcoming year, it's not the same team as the ones that had all these issues. I mean, Michigan just lost most of its talent to the NFL. Like, I think maybe 1 or 2 starters is all they have left. That's it at Michigan. Jim Harbaugh's not there anymore. Can Sharon Moore actually recruit players that are going to win a championship in Michigan? I don't know. But that's besides the fact. They will be able to play for a championship. No postseason ban. It's a very interesting situation up there in Ann Arbor. And really, again, to me, this goes back to the NCAA and why I think college football, and I think a lot of people have called for this, but I think that college football needs to step away from the NCAA because college football is its own thing. Now, you could have college basketball be ran by the NCAA, but college football alone? College football is it's a bigger thing. There's a lot more stuff that goes into college football that I think these people need to realize. And if college football went and just had like someone else govern them, I think it would end up being a better situation for the sport. So that's all I got to say about that Michigan probation right at this moment. And so, of course, this is a shorter video than normal for me. Of course, I always try to go 25 to 30 minutes long on, just average it. And so, like I said, Reggie Bush, I think it's a good thing he got his Heisman back. Definitely deserved it. Never should have been taken away from him, to be honest with you. Helmet communication, I think it's great. I think it's not going to be... I think there's still flaws with it, but I think it's a great upgrade from hand signals. And then Michigan on probation, I just don't know how effective this is going to be for college football. So, either way, that is it for now. We will come back with more content whenever I can, talking more about the playoffs and anything else within college football. So just want to thank y'all for watching. We will see you again later. Goodbye, everybody.